What's going on, y'all? It's J Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video. And as you guys can see, it took once again a little 4 to 5 day break, but that was to build this rather large video, considering what all the information, editing, and stuff that goes into it. And that is Golden Years is back, my series where I go over some of the best prime years or prime runs of any battle rapper's career. We just take a legend, we take what we think their prime is, we talk about it a little more in detail so you can understand which battles they really won to, become prominent, how many people they beat within that time frame. And as you guys can see, in light of the Murda Mook versus New Jersey Twork announcement for Homecoming 2, I am doing a Golden Years video for Twork for his 2018. Now, I do firmly believe that we're probably in the middle of the best year of Twork's career in 2023. I think by the end of this year, there's a very good chance that we're saying this is easily the best year he's had. But it made me think, for someone that is so polarizing, has so many moments and heights, right? Combined with a lot of inconsistencies and things of that nature, he's never put together a full strength Cody year, which is why so many people are excited for this year, right? It looks like he might have a real shot at winning Champion of the Year, at least having a great case for it. But whether it's Cody, whether it's before the award, which he only had a couple years before, Twork, for many people, hasn't put together that complete dominant year that he's capable of. But before this year, I would say 2018 was the best year of his career. Plenty of top tiers to talk about. A little, you know what I'm saying? Of course, there's some mess ups, some battles with some chokes and some L's that we talk about too. But I think people don't realize just how good Twork was, particularly versus top tier comp in 2018. And the way that I break this video down is into a few just simple parts. We're gonna talk about his background real quick. Where was he going into 2018? And then we're gonna talk about each big battle, some longer than others. And for the most part, not gonna talk about one-rounders and side missions, which was a big part of why his 2018 still is held back a little, is no showing certain leagues, maybe taking deposits, showing up to smaller leagues without rounds. You get battles like Cali M and Stack Almighty, where he gets great material for those that want to see some sleeper Twork battles. And then there's other battles, right, in other situations. But to start out, let's talk about 2017 and where Twork was heading into, at this point, what would be the best year of his career. Coming into the year, Twork was starting to really build momentum, but at the same time, a little bit of the inconsistencies would start to show, right? So the farthest I'll go back is the clean paper battle. We all know, one of the biggest body bags of Twork's career, one of the first, if not the first vet that he really saw. And then from there, you had two big stage performances from Twork with Mike P and Cortez. Now, might be a hot take. I think it is a hot take. I've always thought that Twork was severely underrated versus Mike P. I think him messing up in the third, already with a little bit of mess-ups coming up, then you get your first big stage, and then obviously the third, he just kind of throws away. That has always left a dim light on it, and it's one of the best Mike performances, and it's going to go down as a Mike clear win, and that's how I would address it, you know what I'm saying, if I was discussing Mike or Twork's career. But personally, I did think Twork edged the first 2 rounds versus Mike, but clearly the battle's a bit of a net negative for him, right? And then versus Cortez, battle's a bit of a mess. Once again, he's jerseying out of rounds on stage. Many people had Core winning that battle on SM6. But he did have the ill will win coming into this, going into 2018. His last big battle and big win was ill will. Went down ugly 1-0 in the first choking, because Twork almost always, for many years, is going to throw you around. Even in a battle that he wins, he might throw the first or second your way just because. It just tends to be have a man wrapped for a large portion of time. But obviously he goes on the second and the third to clearly beat ill will, which we all know is a large accomplishment, especially if you've done it in the last 5 years. So coming in, he's got some big wins versus vets. The big stage, clearly he had explosive moments, but in terms of putting together the complete 3 rounds to maybe win the public eye, that wasn't happening. And then the Volume series would be born, and we're going to start his 2018 run at Volume 1. And that first battle to talk about is versus JC on Volume 1. And to this day is one of the signature Twork performances, in my opinion. And another battle where he kind of jerseys out of the first round and goes down 1-0 early. I always thought JC was like pretty good in this battle. The 4-5 simplified in the first, 11 ring like Celtic Pride. For the most part, his first is solid, and Twork just, while doing good, he has the attorney scheme, couple things in the first. Show up to your burial and guns. Even now, you're in grave danger. You know what I'm saying? He's always got a little bit of something, but went down a dominant 1-0. But the next 2 rounds of this battle really are what makes New Jersey twerk, right? And that's just explosive haymakers back to back. In the second round, JC is pretty good. He has a really weird stumble in there, so obviously it's a dip from his first, and then Twork just kind of ascends from there, you know what I'm saying? I knew you weren't JC when you couldn't get Rock to move, chasing Lux. Now you got something loaded in your face. The small intestine bar is one of his all-time haymakers. The tiebreaker bar, data shortage, the chop 1 foot like Kuta Kente, right? So it was a really clear 1-1. And then JC's third is good in this battle, right? JC in the initial volume, you're thinking, especially around the hype JC had. This is around the Lux campaign. I think this might be the first L that he took out of the 3 or 4 that really derailed his momentum. And he is good. So you're getting JC in the small room at his peak. Who's in the hood more? The Grim Reaper haymaker. Crazy, but then Twork, once again, similar to his second, has one of those defining rounds that gives you a clear win over JC in his prime. How do you want it, JC, Jesus Christ, or Julian Caesar? The 5-second rule, bow, now eat dirt. The Juilliard should have saved the last dance. But for me, personally, my favorite bar from this battle has to be something that he'll do with many people's slogans. A lot of idioms from here, flipping people's slogans and best bars, where he flips JC's, how could you criticize the form if the shot's perfect bar.
I visit JC late night like Nicodemus, nigga creeping up, sideways the gun to the back of your dome, the pistol squeezing. Bah! The shot perfect. But how you gonna criticize the form if you didn't see it? In your mouth!
Just overall, a really great performance. One of my favorite performances from Twork in general, let alone from his 2018. And starting out on a huge win, we're going to show kind of the diversity of Twork when we have to cover his next battle on Survivor Series. So obviously, as I said, we have to talk about Survivor Series, which is the Mr. Wavy battle. And there's going to be pretty much 2 battles here, and this is one of them, where Twork did take an L, I'd say in a pretty big spot, right? I'd say Mr. Wavy, out of everything we're going to talk about here for the most part, is maybe the least prominent 3-rounder, right? One of the few mid-tier opponents here. But obviously, Twork went on to lose and ends up being one of Mr. Wavy's best performances of his career. Twork wins the first, clearly. Twork second starts another critique that you started to see around Twork with this time, which had been talked about a little bit on the big stage as well, is when he was not getting crowd reaction, it would definitely throw him off, or when he felt like the crowd wasn't fully connecting with him. You see that very clearly here in the second, and really with the strapped in to end his 3rd round as well. And now, meanwhile, Mr. Wavy's giving one of his best performances, clearly wins the second with a great round, and then you get to the 3rd round, and he has the whole Twork at McDonald's skit, and it's a very comedy, impression-based thing, but it went over really well. Wavy's really performative and really one of the better segments he's ever put together in his career. And even in this battle, this really is frustrating because it completely comes down to the fact that if Twork is just clean, he wins this battle. Even against the good Mr. Wavy, the material in his second and his third that he does get out clean and confident is incredible. Particularly of the bar in the third, the masculinity bar, the wordplay on that.
And talk. The cannon talk. The cannon talk. I do my own dirty work. I'm more concerned with who gonna snitch when the hammer's done. They telling everything from the Glock down to the masculinity of these niggas. They ain't man enough. This horror stuff.
Insane, you know what I'm saying? Just thinking left where a lot of people would think right. It's not spending too much time in this one, but you got to note the L's in a year like this. So you start out with probably your best win up to that point versus JC. Turn around, take a loss in the DMV, where obviously Twork was getting a lot of love, to Mr. Wavy. But classic Twork fashion, peak, valley, peak. And that second peak that we are going to speak on is Volume 2. Twork classically considered king of the volumes, and this is the reason why we're in that conversation, and that is because he battles a verb on Volume 2. Another battle similar to JC, where signature rounds, signature quotables. This is just when, if you were watching Twork as he was developing as a talent, these are those big building blocks that we talk about to this day for him. And with the verb battle, similar to JC, first round of this battle, don't want it. Throws it 100% away. Jerzey's very early on, even weaker than his JC first. I mean, a real here you go round. And Verb starts out saying, prepare for lyrical evolution. So it's really... Verb's ridiculous. This is the start of vegan Verb when everything was lyrical something, lyrical hot sauce, lyrical hot water, lyrical evolution. You know what I'm saying? We know how Verb gets down even to this day. But even then, Verb for the most part, the LeVar Ball bar, the cut your stomach and lift your stomach the way a garage lift up. I'm like Gambit. As soon as I touched this card, the card lit up. I remember that whole pocket, man. But really clear 1-0 lead for Verb going into the second. And once again, Twork shows what, like, riding uphill, what he can do. His second round, in my opinion, has always been just better than Verb's. I know some people talk about, like, there's a debatable here in the second round. I think Verb's is good, you know what I'm saying? His showtime takes a minute to heat up, but when it does heat up, I get put behind bars every time and get out. I surf something. Lurch coming, you know what I'm saying? The Devin Booker bar. I'll take your thoughts and make a scary movie out of them. But it's like a pretty condensed round. I pretty much just named you everything of value for the most part that Verb said in his second. And meanwhile with Twork, you get the shotgun, exhaust pumps, holding his body in the casket, the Macarena, too many rounds, too many holes in your rounds, that swiffle ball, pickleball. Like, I thought Twork was incredible. He even had a big dipper following the drinking gourd bar. So, which his reference game is insane. This man is referencing star constellations. Exhaust pumps, for me, it was a clear 1-1 going into the third. It's always been that way with this battle. I've always thought it came down, not necessarily, it comes down to the second, but I always thought in live time it went down to the third. And as we all know, Twork probably had, in my personal opinion, a top 3 round of his career, no doubt. His third versus Verb is Haymaker Central. He's got 3 to 4 career quotables in this, you know what I'm saying? The lead into grease Leonidas famously takes the hoodie off during this round. Paul Walker, my life took a turn for the worst. All these different bars, and the one that reigns above all is obviously his flip on Yes It Is.
Containing Verb. One box containing Verb. The predicate, the long knock. Now, 3-minute rounds, they ain't booked me for a long time. Fuck the preview. Let that beat brew. And 3D2. So it's showtime. I'm at your crib. Be like, it ain't gonna be that dope. Nigga, yes it is. Give me the...
Crazy haymaker. I remember watching it live. It's a bar that I've very few bars have had given me the reaction that I had watching that, especially after starting out so slow in the first to end with a career all-time great third round. One of maybe the 5 best third rounds I've heard in battle rap history. I mean, I really think, even though it's not like a message-based third, it's just that good. Leaves you with the hoodie down moment to end the battle, ends it crazy. In my opinion, got Verb 2-1 on volume 2, so obviously 2 great matchups in the volume that I had him winning. And you add the Showtime versus the Strapped In. It was all going Twork's way, going into, once again, the big stages. As said, we are getting into the big stages. One small thing to mention, because it wasn't as prevalent back then as it is now, but before, Twork would go on to Gnome 8 that year. He did battle someone you might have heard of, Easy the Block Captain, on Gates of the Garden, a battle that now is a 1-rounder that is almost done 800K, and that's just because of the storylines that have come out. Obviously, Easy blows up years after the fact, and we go back to this battle, the birth of the Hurricane Do angle, Twork saying he slept with Do, you know what I'm saying, and taking it as an angle against Easy in the battle, which would be go on to flip to Beasley, all these different, you know what I'm saying, versions of coming at Easy at the time for being with Do. And what's funny is that Easy is actually good in this battle. I never thought coming from here you'd see a superstar, but I remember when I watched it, when it first came out, it was pretty impactful. And I'm like, yo, Easy is, like, he's good, he's fighting. Crazy battle from Twork, though. The Troublemaker bar, I love so much.
I'm about to put something in the scope on my and bully and boogie. This shit clap like a huddle breaker. Nah, I'm like Hasbro, the Troublemaker. I don't play.
Following that Easy battle, crazy 1-rounder that has impact after the fact, in a sense, right? You get on to Gnome 8, as I said, and this is New Jersey Twork versus Shotgun Suge. At this point, would easily be his most complete big stage performance up here, and I have always had this battle as Suge was good. This is a good Suge, one of the better Suges that you're really going to see in his career, and Twork won every round of this battle clearly. I think Suge's first is his best round. Show little bro the ropes, I gotta hang you from him. He does all the dunking, the pocket checking in this round. This is really where he gets all of the special moves out of the way. Clip looked like curly fries hanging off the Mac. So obviously Suge was great, and then Twork goes. He rebuttals with the Shaq bringing down the rim, does a dunk of his own. The love don't cost a thing. Haymaker. Pistol whip him. Woozy. The barrel looked like a Venn diagram. Reference pool is ridiculous. The stretch the bark like I am Groot. And then, of course, when it comes down to it, Chris Brown, excuse me, miss, I saw you from across the room. Highlight first. This isn't even where I'm my favorite bar of the battle. Obviously. Suge takes a huge dip in the second. Suge's second in this battle is really close to not good, if I got to be honest with you. Once again, Twork goes on. The king of pop bars, shotgun to shotguns, have a mirror match. I could go all day just naming Twork punches, but he was up 2-0, clear going into the third. And as we hit the third, I think Twork, Suge, I keep confusing the names, right? I think Suge has a good third. The what's your life like, you want to be the king concept. But Twork would go on to once again punch his way all the way up until the end of this round. And by the time he lands one of his best strapped ins of all time, it's very clear that this battle is a 3-0.
I'm headed to hillside, masked in the skies. What is life like? He can tell you when it flashed before his eyes.
Incredible, great performance, complete big stage performance, which was big for him at this time. And then once again, I would say that there was a dip, but I think that you hit a little bit of consistency here, especially from the Verb battle. The Easy battle's good, the Suge battle's good, and then you go from big stage back to a small room when Twork went on to have a band battle. And this band battle would be chess. Gotta love that. Another great battle. I'm gonna have the stats up here when I put the battles up. Obviously, as you can see, mostly million view battles. We're talking about a superstar, not just in the ring, but out of the ring when it comes to Twork. And him in chess, the battle of two near generational talents that just couldn't seem to fully get it together consistently enough, right, to be the face or to get these. To trust in big moments year to year. But even though they kept getting them, it didn't stop them from getting them, but there's pushback. So then you get the band battle between the two of them, and great battle. Great battle on both sides. And another battle where I thought that Twork really, once again, throws around, which we're going to talk about here in the second. But for the most part, his other two rounds are phenomenal. You start with the first round of this battle. And what's funny is there's plenty of quotables from Twork that you can pull from this one. Another all-time moment where he has the building breaking. But I love his first round. I know his third is what's considered his best here. But I love his first, particularly when this round through, ain't nobody waking the fuck up. Your luck's up.
I think I'm going to make you swallow a bullet and then I'm leaving you. And you can have your cake and you can eat it too. I'm creeping through. I come around and you still taking the fuck up. But when it's round through, ain't nobody waking the fuck up. You look
Always love that bar. But even from there, you have the chest rub me the wrong way. He's going to get a lot. It's going to be a lot of Vicks. I pop his shit. I had Twork winning the first clear. Chest clearly wins the second clear. How he going to, if I break both his arms, how he going to hold his strapped in. Incredible, you know what I'm saying, quotable from him. Very clear, 1-1 going into the third. And then Twork has an all-time third once again in this battle. The split his mug, the 50 hanging upside down in the club. Pocket checking smack. Ridiculousness. The 5 to his chest. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Just once again, haymaker lane. When he gets in that bag, there's just no one that can beat him, and it's really that simple. When he gets in the bag, like his first versus Clips, his third versus Verb, his third versus Chess, I just don't think with the level of performance and writing, the best on both spectrums, there's much you can do. So another battle that, once again, just my opinion on it, but I always felt like Twork pretty clearly won this battle. And that's what's funny about him is when he loses clear, he loses bad clear. But when he faces a lot of the top battlers in the game, JC, Averb, Suge, you know what I'm saying? You could debate the win-loss of these guys if they're legends. And then Chess, who obviously was dangerous in this battle, but in my opinion, takes an L here to Twork. So there we go. Great on the big stage. Great in the small room versus Verb. Great on the big stage versus Suge. Goes back as a great showing in the small room versus Chess. And follows that up with another big stage battle, but sadly, once again, the dips that we talk about, this is the second big dip in his 2018, and really the one that hurts. Obviously, the wavy battle, we'll joke about it as time goes on, and it was his fault, but the real career hurter in this one, and why I think he dropped to 8th on the Champion of the Year list, is Twork versus DNA on SM7. About as famous as a blunder as you can get from Twork as it was on SM. SM6, you know what I'm saying, he is the Jersey out versus Core, but this one only gets one round out in the battle, and that is the first round. A lot of people, I remember the jokes at the time, it is basically a one-rounder, and Twork won, right? He has the Room Raider bar. Super fire and has a good first overall, but from there, and even a close first, right? So you could still kind of debate DNA got the first. When it comes to the second and the third of this battle, DNA puts a whooping on Twork, man. The rookie mistake rebuttal gets to him. Twork clearly choking out of his round, stumbling through, not figuring it out, Jerzey out, and then DNA goes on to have a great character assassination third at that against Twork. In my opinion, it might go down as the worst loss of Twork's career. I think Surf's obviously up there. There's a couple for a guy that's, you know, choked as much as he has at certain losses, but you'll have battles like Mr. Wavy, Big T, Jay the Nightwing, where he still even has highlights in those battles, right? Even though it's still on him for losing. There's highlights, right? But when you get to, like, big moments, man, you just can't be showing up with one round. You know, SM7 versus DNA, really your first, like, official, not surprise battle. I'm on that Summer Madness card SM, and that happens to you. It'll always go down as one of the worst losses, and kind of why people may not even view 2018 as an all-time year. Like I said, you could see the names I said I have him beating. JC, Verb, Suge, Chess, but then you get to the DNA battle, and that happens. Huge stock drop, but this year, I believe, had two gnomes as well, but also 2 Summer Madnesses, so he would quickly be able to turn around and be on SM8, this time out of the country. And on SM8, he would take on Arsenal in the UK. One of his highest viewed battles up to this point with 3.3 million views. Might be his highest viewed, I'd have to check. But extremely popular in a battle that he had a lot of bad negative energy following him coming in, right? So what happens is that even though he's a great performance, you'll see at a point of this battle, people are chanting 2-0 for Arsenal. Many people live had it 2-1, if not 3-0. And I remember early in college, it starts early because it's in the UK, right? So I didn't watch it live. I had to watch it after I heard all the noise about what everyone had said. And I watched it, and even though it's a good battle for Ars, I've never felt differently about the critique Twork got in this battle. I always thought it was a little overblown. And you could start with, first to talk about, is one thing Twork does in this battle, which we've discussed as a pattern, even in the battles that he wins, is he throws a round away. He throws the second, he would throw the second away in this battle, and then Arsenal's second is his best round of the battle, really one of the best rounds of his career. I mean, he smokes Twork in the second. But when you look at the first and the third of this battle, I thought you always got high energy Twork, confident, unlike his second round, which even though he does have a fire bar, one of my favorite bars of the battle in the second round.
But he ain't worried at all. With all his experience, he know he'll win. You battle Tech 9, Hollow, Loaded, Clips, Shotty. You about to do it all over again.
You look at this first and this third, and I thought that's really where the base of his content is, particularly in the first. I think is what people try to debate for Ars. Obviously, they chanted 2-0, right? But Twork has the Scion. That's because my bitch whipping dominatrix. I always thought that bar was extremely fire. Shoot the club up, she ovulating. The Australia going down under. Permanent head wrap sway in the morning. You ain't tired of him retiring. Bow. Well, this time he ain't never coming back. I always thought he killed the first. Even has the life insurance bar. Could go on and on and on. And Arsenal is a good first, but it's a lot of straight disrespect. I'll put your son in the oven, tell him it's his hiding place. You know, all this craziness. You ever talk to the card? It talks back to you in German. I thought that was pretty fire. Like, I think that he does some good things in here. But for the most part, I mean, you could just go back and watch this first for yourself. I don't got to convince no one. Everyone's going to have their opinions at the end of the day. But especially the back half of his first, it's a longer round, so he kind of drowns him out time-wise. But I never thought it was the same content-wise. Always thought it was 1-1 clear going into the third. And Arsenal does some Arsenal shit in the third. You know what I mean? People that try to give Ars the third, it's a filler Ars round. I don't know how else to put it. There's not a lot of material going at Twork at all in this round. Still think you get a very respectable performance in the first two. So I don't mean to bog down Ars's performance, but Twork's third is great. You know Eminem, right? With Dissa Machine Gun, that was crazy. The Stand Your Ground bar, the Riddler, they go question marks all over his body. The Hulkamania bar was crazy. The Sorcerer's Stone bar, like it's a lot in this third. And then I will mention, he did have the Bulldog, did my homework, the Dog ate it Haymaker, which is many people's favorite. It's a recycle from a smaller league battle. Gotta mention that, and it just goes to show that as great as Twork was, there was just so much stupid shit going on that took away from the greatness. Even if you take that bar out, I still think Twork won the third of this battle. I always thought this was kind of carry on hate from what happened with DNA. And hate isn't the great word because it's justified, right? It's like carried on critique. But you know when we're down on battlers, all of a sudden they're debatables or losses and this and that. Everything's going wrong for him. But I always thought that he bounced back pretty well from the DNA battle in this one and had him 2-1 over Arsenal. And he would have one more battle to get in before the end of the year. And that one battle is his near, if not full classic with Rum Nitti, volume 3 to end the year, right? So what a schedule from Twork in the year 2018. JC, Mr. Wavy, A-Verb, Shotgun Shug, battle easy, you know what I'm saying? It was long before easy was easy. But Chess, DNA, Arsenal, and then Rum Nitti. And the Rum Nitti battle was obviously on its way to being an all-time level battle before the scuffle. I think you look at the first round of this battle, I've thought is debatable. High level first from both. I think Twork took it live. I think over time, you know, both of them being great writers, there's more debate, there's more to talk about. But I always thought that he was fantastic in the first round. The clip curl like a hat, press down on the half moon, do not disturb.
I'm about to take this one to the grave. You got my word. Drive by, chop out the GMC, I shoot out the bird. K-clip, press down on the half moon, do not disturb.
Crazy. Nitti has a great all-time second round, and Twork still has a very good second. The scuffle happens. Nitti wants to go outside and fight. The energy of the battle changes, and it sucks because if you watch the third round of this battle, it's just as good as the first two, material-wise. It's really just that good from both. I think they both have a great third, but by then it's just... And it's always been weird judging this battle just because of that energy in the third. And I know that we've judged through weirder things even, but it's just reading the room in terms of when I ask people about it, we always just talk about how that battle was incredible going into the final round. And it always feels like it'll be just a little bit incomplete because of the way it went down. Not really win-loss, you know what I'm saying? But one of those things, I think it's a stock raiser either way because the first half of the battle is just that good from both gentlemen. It was going on to be something special, so you get like a undecided but still stock-raising kind of battle at the end. And just a perfect way to cap off a year with Twork that's full of high wins over top tiers, big stage and small stage. Some controversial, some are calling it debatable live, then some feel different afterwards. You got great one-rounders, you got one-rounders he's no-showed and not show it and not bringing rounds for, and then you have a battle that's on its way to all-time top 10, top 5 battles that just somehow ends up incomplete. But it does put an end on this monster year that New Jersey Twork had in 2018. And that is my full golden years video here for Twork's 2018, going over the highs, the lows, the what's and what's nots. It's just such a funny year to break down in a way because it has so much good, so much ridiculousness, just so much of everything. And now I think that he's going to be surpassing that with a much more consistent and maybe even much more impactful 2023 that will probably go down as the best year of his career. But you guys let me know what you thought of Twork's 2018. I think he goes on from there, obviously in 2019 to carry out, have still some great showings, right? The one-rounder versus Miss Hustle. His next big battle would end up being Charlie Clips on Volume 4. Another battle, it's a funny one to break down, kind of tosses around here. But it just goes to show the versatility of Twork in a way, man, and the fact that I really do believe he's probably the best pure talent that has entered battle rap from like an all-around perspective. Now, as you can see, I'm big on talent is half of the game. Applying your talent is the other half. And even though there's times that he doesn't apply it, I still think there's a lot of just looking at this year, top tier wins. And that's why maybe if you ever compared a Twork and a Chess or someone else that's known maybe for having mess ups. I think Twork still hangs more with the greats on that scale rather than the what ifs, because even though there is what ifs, I mean, I just named you. The verb battle's not a what if. I can watch that very clearly and it's amazing. The Arsenal battle for me isn't a what if, you know. The Shotgun Shug battle, yes, there's bad, but you look at a year like this where probably the most flack he ever got was around 2018. And I probably just named you 5 top-tier wins, you know what I'm saying, out of this list. So just puts it a little bit in perspective. Can't excuse the other stuff, but it shows that he has always been able to hit that peak and put the wins together. We're not looking back at a guy that's battled 30 top tiers and lost to 25 of them, you know what I mean? But we'll see by the end of 2023 where he's at, and maybe years down the line we can look back into 2023 and do another Golden Years video for that, man. But shout out to Twork. Has a lot coming up with the Shoddy Horror battle and the Murder Mook battle on his plate. And then when that goes down, we once again will be having a discussion about how we view the legacy of New Jersey Twork. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your personal favorite Twork moment from 2018. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.